Alright, Bucketheads, welcome back, and today we're talking about the Red Dead Redemption PC port. On October 8th, 12 days ago at this point, the world was taken by storm. After 14 years, finally, Red Dead Redemption was announced to get a PC port. And the outcry, the utmost support for this PC port was immaculate, because if you come down here and look at it, it has almost 1 million views. Anything around it outside of these obviously promoted GTA 5 ads, it has more views than. I don't know, here's this Lunderdroff Symmetry Survival that got 760,000. Here's this one about Assault AT-16, which got 780,000. So the point here being is that people for 14 years at this point have wanted Red Dead Redemption on the PC. I mean, we literally had Red Dead Redemption on PC for 5 years at this point, and it has taken 14 years for Red Dead Redemption to come to PC. Earlier this year, Red Dead Redemption also got a few other console ports. I think it was ported to the PS4 and the Nintendo Switch. Now, all of those ports, it's not a remaster, an upscale, it is just a native port of Red Dead Redemption. Meaning that if you have a copy of Red Dead Redemption or Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare on either your Xbox 360 or your PS3 or hell, even your PS4 or Nintendo Switch at this point, you are going to get the same game as you did back then. And this isn't the worst thing in the world, because if you take a look at Red Dead Redemption, it doesn't look like a bad game. I think Red Dead Redemption comes from that time period in video games where like we started hitting the upper ceiling of what good video games can look like, and really adding anything else to graphical fidelity is kind of just like putting lipstick on a pig. You can't really do much more. Like, let's be honest, there are games that look better than Skyrim and Red Dead Redemption, but like, do we really care? Do I really care about the fancy lighting if my game doesn't run at a stable frame rate? I'm looking at you, Tears of the Kingdom. So this game is currently available for pre-purchase on Steam, coming out October 29th of 2024. And if you look down here, it is slated to release at the $50 mark. $50 for a game that you could go to literally any retro game shop or even eBay and buy both Red Dead Redemption and Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare individually for at most $20. And keep in mind, like I said earlier, this is a native port of that game. This game is straight from the Xbox 360, straight from the PS3, right onto Steam. And it took them 14 fucking years to do that. That's crazy. Rockstar, when they wake up and they realize, oh, we can make money off this thing that we put a lot of effort into and never got a PC port. I mean, this game literally came out on the Nintendo Switch before it came out on PC. How, in what world does that make sense? You can't sit there and tell me that there is a bigger install base of Red Dead Redemption fans on the Nintendo Switch than there is on PC. That's not real. That's fake news, okay? So I would say, generally speaking, $50 for a native port that, again, isn't an upscale or a remaster, just the game from Xbox 360, $50 is not worth it. But, I mean, I also bought it on the Nintendo Switch for $50, so I'm willing to excuse the price tag, even though I'll get into why I think that the price tag is still stupid. If we come down here and look at the recommended specs for Red Dead Redemption on the PC, keep in mind a game from 2010 that ran on the PS3, you are recommended to have an RTX 2070, 8 gigabytes of RAM, an i5 8500. My brother in Christ, does a Nintendo Switch even have 8 gigabytes of RAM? No, a Nintendo Switch has 4 gigabytes of RAM. How much RAM did a PS3 have? No fucking way. The PS5 has 256 megabytes of RAM? That doesn't even seem real. And the Xbox 360 had 512 megabytes, not even a gigabyte, and you're saying that we need a minimum of 8 gigabytes? That is absolutely bogus. I didn't even think to look at the RAM when I was planning this video. The biggest kick in the balls here is that if we come to Steam and look at Red Dead Redemption 2, the recommended specs are an i7 4070K, a GeForce GTX 1060, and 12 gigabytes of RAM. My brother in Christ, the recommended specs for this game from 2010, 14 years ago, is higher than this game that came out 6 years ago and is objectively a larger game with better animations, higher graphical fidelity. The game file of Red Dead Redemption 2 in and of itself is literally 140 gigabytes larger than Red Dead Redemption. It's not even like they bloated the file size here, because it's a 12 gigabyte game and Red Dead Redemption 2 is 150 gigabytes. So why, on God's green earth, is this game that ran on the Xbox 360, the PS3, hell, even the Nintendo Switch, need an RTX 2070 to run? A game that came out 14 years ago and isn't even a remaster, it's just a native port, needs more physical hardware to run than Red Dead Redemption 2. At this point, I'm expecting a Red Dead Redemption 2 Nintendo Switch port, because what the fuck is going on? What kind of magic did you pull to get this running on the Nintendo Switch if the recommended specs required for Red Dead on the PC is that? Looking at the specs here, it is telling me one thing about Red Dead Redemption on the PC, and that it's going to run like absolute garbage because they did not optimize the game. And I guess that's why it took so long for Rockstar to put it on the PC anyways. I mean, seriously, for a game that came out in 2010 needing an RTX 2070 and 8 gigabytes of RAM, I mean, that's just telling me that they're going to make your PC brute force Red Dead Redemption into 60 frames 1080p. And you know what the biggest slap on the balls here is? You're going to need the Rockstar Games launcher to play Red Dead Redemption on Steam. Why even put it on Steam? Just put it on Rockstar Games. Don't let me buy it on Steam if you're going to make me install a third-party client. So we have a re-release of a game from 14 years ago being sold at $50 that needs hardware that wasn't even conceptually possible in 2010 for it to even run at a stable frame rate. And on top of all that, you need to install the Rockstar Games launcher, which is absolutely asinine. I don't know why Steam allows sellers to just require you to install a third-party client. I don't want to do that. I especially don't want to do that considering back in 2023, I bought a copy of GTA 5 when it was on sale on Steam, and when I went to go put in my key for GTA 5 on the Rockstar Games launcher, it just said that I didn't own the game because it had already been activated. Like, no shit, it was already activated. I bought it on fucking Steam. It took me 12 hours to get a refund for a game that I paid for and they wouldn't let me play. They were just like, oh, there's nothing we could do. I literally had to spend hours emailing and calling Rockstar support for them to finally be like, well, I guess we sold you a faulty product. They didn't even try to resolve my issue. They literally just said, here's your refund, get the fuck out of here. You are an absolute titan in the gaming industry. I don't understand why you're just pumping out all this slop. Or wait, I do understand why you're pumping out all this slop. Because of guys like me, little piggies that will run to the trough and consume any slop you put out. And yes, I'm going to buy Red Dead Redemption on the PC, no questions asked. The reason being is Red Dead Redemption is a great game, and playing it on the PC I think would be fun. Mouse and keyboard Red Dead Redemption seems like a blast and a half. Will my PC be able to run it? Only time will tell. I have a good feeling that it's not going to run the way that I want it to, considering that I'm playing it on a behemoth of a computer. But I'm going to do it because I'm a cuck. So yeah, that's about it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. I'm pissed off.